technical education, I studied Marxism and Leninism in its name. How it is it? It means that I read Marx, I read Lenin, I read Stalin, I read Brezhnev, I read Mao Zedong, and so on. So just preparing myself to this presentation, went to the International Department of Central Committee of Communistic Party of China. It is English website. And it says that major part of this is ideological and theoretical basis of Communistic Party of China. At the very beginning, it says that Communist Party of China takes Marxism, Leninism, and so on and so on. To extent, as I studied Marxism, Leninism, for me it is absolutely failed ideology. And still China practices this ideology in full. I just read materials, what you presented here, and the president of the country, first chairman of the party, then he is the president of the country, and then he is the president of the military council of the China. So it is quite powerful position what accumulates in one person. So now I come to my question. This presentation is about China in its role in the world. How that reflects communistic ideology of China. To what extent this ideology should be, how to say, should be projected on the entire world, and how do you do it?
You say that China started out not as a communist country, but as a nationalist country, and that it has now opened itself up after Deng Xiaoping to procedures which are not communist at all. But the gentleman there says that if you read the materials give the impression that the policy of China is Marxism-Leninism. Is that right or is that wrong? And if it is Marxism-Leninism, then are you trying to spread communism all over the world? Is that part of your objective, is to spread the good message of Marxism-Leninism, which is a failed concept, to the rest of the world?
Not right. Actually, when you read the literature of Chinese government or Chinese Communist Party, I think you'll find these expressions. But you have to read these expressions, this concept, from a historical point of view. Because see, I think over the past 60 years, since the founding of the People's Republic of China, Communist Party of China has followed as a path of its self-criticism and improvement. We're trying to improve ourselves step by step. So you're right. We have taken our guiding theories from Marxism, Leninism, Mao Zedong thought, Deng Xiaoping's theory, then the important thought of three represents that proposed by former President Zhen-Min. Then, with the current president, we have a new theory called the scientific view of development. So, you read our history, we're updating, improving our theory. But I think our tradition, we don't get rid of the past, the previous one, because we take it as a theory of any country. There is the process of build-up and the improvement. It's the most important that we are improving ourselves. We are improving. I think we are talking about, you see, scientific view of development is a really important update of our entire theory. But among the 6 concepts you refer to, since now we are in the process of reform and opening up, actually we are focused on Deng Xiaoping thought theory, because Deng Xiaoping proposed the concept of so-called socialism with Chinese characteristics. So this is the main theory, to incorporate all the other concepts. So I think for in the future, Chinese leadership will invent new concepts, but that will mean it will be update and the improvement of the theory. And this will be process. I think this is good. This is important for China. I think why we are making achievements in our economic development, because we are updating our theory every decade or every two decades. This is very important, I think.
Young lady at the end, can I have hands up for the next question?
Good evening. My name is Joanne Pierre. I'm a freshman at Fairleigh Dickinson University. I'm a secondary education and French major. My question is,
No, hold the microphone closer to you. Just 1 second. Is the microphone working?
no? Help.
Yes.
Help. Yes, okay. I've heard a lot of things going on with the money trade, money in the fund, $2 trillion and stuff. And I know there's a lot of poverty going on. So how is the government helping out? Because I know there's poor in China also. How are you guys helping those people out? You guys there's a lot of money in the fund and stuff. How are they using that to help their own people?
I think you could go back to China to see what has been achieved. You'll see that the entire country has changed after 30 years. From the infrastructure, you'll see that railway, highways, road, airport, infrastructure in the cities, everywhere you're changing. Even you go to countryside. So it's really a changing of the entire country and the improvement of the living standard of the population. So actually, money, without investment, without using it for its people, the money means nothing. So I think that every year, government has investments in the other areas. Even for this stimulus plan for the recovery economy after financial crisis, government spent a lot of money in improving infrastructure, in improving the insurance system, hospitals, schools. So that's, I think, the money were used. Of course, you go to some remote areas, you'll find still that some people are still poor. But for China, I think we achieved a lot in eliminating poverty. From 30 years ago, we used to have over 300 million people under the poverty line. Now I think only around 40 million something, 40 million.
14.
Around maybe 20 million. Around 20 million, over 20 million. Between 20 to 30 million population still under poverty line. So our immediate objective in implementing the United Nations Millennium Development Goals is to help this group of people to get rid of the poverty. So for the long run, of course, we are looking for